I'm sitting here with Dave Geffon of Team 3D. Dave,
Hey.
how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
So it's Winter CPL.
Yeah.
Some exciting times at hand. How do you feel about being here?
I feel great about being here. I always enjoy coming to the events. They're always great competition and well run, and I always look forward to them.
Last CPL, some very exciting times. Your match came down to the wire. Final bullet, 2 seconds on the defuse time. How could you have overcome that? Everybody knows what happened. How could you have changed that?
Well, I mean, sometimes there's just things you can't avoid. Sometimes you get the breaks and sometimes you don't. And a lot of times, if like on that 2 seconds on the defuse or that one bullet, you didn't set yourself up to win that round either way. And instead of getting that break, you didn't get it and you didn't win that round. You needed to go on to win the tournament. That's the kind of stuff that happens, and those are just mistakes that are made when you need to be able to avoid those mistakes and just step up and rise above that. And that's the teams that deserve to win are the teams that can do that.
Now, another interesting question. Teams like EOL, for example, employ SK killer strats designed just for one team. How do you guys feel about strats like that?
Well, I've always kind of avoided trying to design strats just for one team because there's so many teams out there. If you get caught up in the habit of trying to make strats for different teams, I mean, you're going to be worrying about who's here, who's there, what are these guys going to do? I mean, sometimes you just got to worry about your own game and then bring that. And if it's not good enough to beat another team, you don't deserve to beat them anyways. So it's too much to actually worry about another team. There's too much stuff in CS to worry about everyone else. Just got to worry about your own team.
So focus
exactly.
on your own
Focus
gameplay.
on your own team. There's always room for improvement there.
Absolutely. Now, Team 3D, as we know, you guys have your sponsors. You've taken lots of trips. You're all over the world. What's been one of the best trips your sponsors have sent you on so far?
Well, I've always enjoyed going to Korea for the WCG finals. It's a great experience. It's a completely different culture. I mean, going from the U.S. over to Korea, where everything's like really different and gaming's huge. It's like definitely a real culture shock to be able to go over there and have kids come up to you on the street and ask you for your autograph, and it's pretty cool. And it was just a real great experience.
Now, do you and your team have any further plans to any further European events?
Yeah, I think we've talked about going to the CPL Europe tournament here in the spring, and definitely trying to do the Esports World Cup next summer, and just any tournament that comes our way that we feel is going to be a good tournament, we'll probably take part in.
Now, NOA, the first North American / European team. What do you think about these guys and that concept?
Well, I mean, I think it's an interesting concept because it's almost like you're taking a little bit of one style of play, mixing it with another, and trying to breed it into being like this one style of play that's going to conquer all. But then again, the problem with it is when you have two different types of playing styles, sometimes they don't mesh as well as they could. And NOA is a team that's only been around for a few weeks, maybe a month, and I'm not sure if they're going to have the ability to pull it all together like they would need to. Then again, I've been wrong before, so I might eat my own words if they came back and won the whole tournament.
Explain the concept behind the Esports Entertainment Association.
Well, the ESEA was founded by Torbil, who's our team manager, and it's basically like a site, almost like run to organize lessons between some of the top gamers in games such as Warcraft 3 and Counter-Strike, and between fans who want to take a step and learn something new in their game. So it's almost like a community site based towards it's almost the same as having lessons in like any other sport, such as like hockey or basketball or baseball. It's no different, just a different approach to it.
Now, out of all the members in Team 3D, who would you say? You'll probably say yourself. I don't know. Who's the most requested member?
I'd say probably Rambo. He does more lessons than you could even imagine. He's just always working, always giving lessons, and he does really work very hard at that.
Same lineup for your team for over a year. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. What's the secret to keep your team together?
It's not easy. And anyone who'd say it's just easy to keep 5 people together and 5 people dedicated to what you're doing would just be lying, because it's not easy. People have fights, people have arguments, you go through problems. Whenever you have a bunch of different people with different personalities and different views on things, you're always going to run into conflicts and issues. It's just about having a mature group of people willing to admit they're wrong at times and being able to walk away and say, okay, I'm not going to do something like leave the team and join someone else. It's about really just being an adult and just being mature and not being so quick to walk away from something you've put a lot of time and effort into.
There are a lot of ways to have a final in Counter-Strike. Out of all the ways that you've seen, Which would you say that you prefer?
I like the best of three method that we played in Korea. Although I do like just the normal WLM standard that CPL uses. I think they both work, and they both really do prove who's the better team. But if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose the best of three format, where you have to win 2 of the 3 matches in the finals to be declared the winner. But it's time consuming, and it does take a long time, but I think that does represent which team is the best most accurately.
We'd like to thank you for being here. Very good luck on the tournament. Anything else you'd like to add for the listeners, for the viewer?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for you guys for having me again. It's always fun to do them. Thanks to our sponsors, NVIDIA and CompUSA, and thanks to all of our fans who've been supporting us over this last year and a half we've been together.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.